Exclusive contract from Feilu Novel Network Novel. Comic Elf. Just awaken to the system, join Group Chat. This book is also known as, Is There Something Wrong with Being Led by Pokémon, and, Why Can Pokémon's Affinity Max Affect Beautiful Girls? Bai Hao travels to the world of anime elves and obtains a divine-level elf cultivation system. Successfully subdued the Guagua Bubble Frog, rewarded with, Water Escape Ninjutsu Complete Collection. Successfully subdued young Kiras, rewarded with, Sha Shagua. Successfully subdued Chaomeng, rewarded with, Free Extreme Intention Skill. I thought the road to becoming a leader would be smooth sailing, but who knew Chuan I? Haojun, Bogomon misses you. Jie. Haojun, let's team up and enter the elf secret realm together. Ain. Haojun, what is this tough thing? Xiaolan. Haojun, Cine is still outside, the divine beast is going crazy. Dimension collapse. The elf world is about to be destroyed. Bai Hao joins the post-apocalyptic chat group. Leaving clouds and borrowing the wind. Bold. What woman? Butterfly Chanui. Haojun, I can't bear to think of you. Chuan Shizuka. Ahem, Haojun really likes to act coquettish. Yen Lingji. Sir, do you want to experience the warmth, fire, tenderness, and water? Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1. Awakening the Divine Elf Cultivation System, with. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Dragon Kingdom, Neon Province, Chiba City. Bai Hao was wearing headphones and watching the game commentary on his phone. At present, the strong biting land shark has the advantage, and the situation of the three evil dragons is not good. The fierce biting land shark is shining with dazzling dragon attribute energy. Li Jianzhong, the Heavenly King, seems to be planning to give his opponent a final blow. Wait. What is this situation? The aura of the three evil dragons of two human Senma suddenly surged by a large margin. Three evil dragons never shrink back. Two human Senma seems to be planning to fight this final blow. Both sides in the battle are very confident in their own elves. Oh my goodness. This is the destructive death light of three evil dragons. The attacks of the three evil dragons came first. Can Li Tianwang react in time? As is well known, although destroying dead light has tremendous power, it has a fatal flaw, which is the stiffness after use. Elite trainers who have undergone special training in this area can probably limit this stiffness to between 0.2 and 0.5 seconds. And the elves reaching the level of Heavenly King will be even shorter. Usually only around 0.05 seconds. This duration may not be much for us ordinary trainers. But in a match at the Heavenly King level, even with a 0.05 second stiffness, one or even two effective attacks can be made. As long as Li Tianwang seizes the opportunity and changes his moves temporarily, it is easy to catch the stiffness that destroys the dead light. Wait. The dragon attribute energy of the fierce biting land shark has reached the critical point of release. Li Tianwang didn't have time to change his moves. The opportunity found by two human Senma is very good. The destruction deadlight of the three evil dragons met the dragon god diving that fiercely bit the land shark. The energy is too dazzling for the thunderous light. The camera is a bit blurry. Who exactly is the winner? The fierce biting land shark was knocked away. Three evil dragons seized the opportunity. Seize the victory and pursue. Familiar dragon attribute energy. The speed is very fast. It's dragon wave. The fierce bite of the land shark loses its combat ability, and the winner is the two human Senma. Let's congratulate. Thank you all for watching the opening match of the 2023 Dragon Kingdom King competition. I'm Rice Dumpling, the official event commentator of the program, play slowly. We'll see you tomorrow at the same time. Bai Hao exited the playback interface and couldn't help but take a long sigh, sighing, the combat power of these elves is really terrifying. Even if captured with a large ultra-high-speed camera and slowed down 100 times, it still makes people's blood boil. 18 years ago, Bai Hao was reborn from Earth and obtained a new identity. An orphan. At first, Bai Hao thought this was a world similar to Elf Resurrection. Pokémon fully integrates with human society. This group of adorable cute pets in anime from their past lives, transformed, it turned into a cute nuclear bomb that shook mountains and earth, causing a sea of destruction. Heavenly King level, elves can use all their strength to defeat the city in one blow. Champion level elves have the ability to move mountains and fill the sea. If not, most elves love peace. If it weren't for this planet being 10 times larger than Earth, if it weren't for the ancestors 300 years ago who immediately chose to peacefully coexist with the elves after they showed their power, Bai Hao couldn't even imagine what kind of society it would be now. Just as Bai Hao was planning to become a copywriter in the early stages and accumulate money honestly, when I become a respected trainer in the future, an accident has come again. The desk mate in junior high school is a pink-haired girl named Chika Fujiwara. After moving, the next door turned out to be the Maori detective office. A high school classmate has an iceberg called Shueji Shashue. While browsing the manga exhibition, I came across a beautiful cozer from the Cos Black River Boy. This is still a world of anime. No wonder Bai Hao was reborn in the Neon province of the Dragon Kingdom, not in a city on the mainland. Bai Hao put away his headphones and murmured softly, finally, it's time to collect the elves. I hope I can. Ah. Xiao and I. The girl's screams instantly brought Bai Hao back to his senses. Bai Hao instinctively looked towards the sound. I saw a rabbit-shaped Pokémon with a blue body and several sharp spines on its back rushing towards me. The luxury car in the other direction had no time to slow down and collided directly with the Pokémon. This strange sense of sight. Bai Hao didn't have time to think, so he grabbed the young man's wrist at the intersection and forcefully pulled him behind him. I'll do it. Reborn and returning, still in such a world of divine elves, how could Bai Hao be an ordinary otaku like in his previous life? Over the past decade, Bai Hao has been exercising almost every day. Now his physical fitness is almost at the top level among his peers. Bai Hao lifted the rabbit's ear with lightning speed and dodged the car with a rolling motion. Nidwa Nidona, weighing over 40 pounds, obediently rubbed against Bai Hao's arm like a rabbit. The dead fish-eyed boy at the intersection turned around and left when nothing happened. Bai Hao-chang breathed a sigh of relief, got up and patted the dust off his body, then lowered his head and scolded, how can you run around at the intersection? Nidwa, these luxury cars are all made of special metals, and elves of your level can't hit them. Nidwa, by June. The young girl, Tuanzi, ran unsteadily towards Bai Hao, patting her restless chest with lingering fear, and quickly bowed to thank him, thank you for saving Xiaohao. The driver on the side also quickly stopped the car and ran over, sir, are you okay? It's okay. Bai Hao waved his hand and was about to make a polite remark when two mechanical synthesized sounds suddenly came to his mind. Ding dong, the host successfully rescued the elf and activated the system. The divine level elf cultivation system serves you, congratulations on receiving the initial reward. Pokémon Affinity Max. Didi, the post-apocalyptic chat group has detected that this world is the post-apocalypse and invites you to join. Do you agree? Chapter 2, Goldfinger Fusion Upgrade, Bai Hao. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Bai Hao was stunned. What is the situation? Saving an elf will awaken the system's golden finger. The apocalypse. Is this fairy world the end of the world? By June, are you okay? The young girl in the group looked nervously at the stunned Bai Hao. Did Bai Jun fall off his mind just now? Bai Hao instantly regained his senses and waved his hand to the tense two of them. I'm fine, Yubibin doesn't have to worry. The sudden accident made Bai Hao lose the intention of being polite to the two of them. He stood up and waved his hand, saying urgently, my clothes are dirty. Let's go home first and change into new clothes. See you at school. That. Yubibin opened his mouth and saw Bai Hao's figure gradually fading away, so he could only sigh helplessly. Nidwa Nidona glanced at Bai Hao, who was running away, and lowered her head to rub against the lower legs of Yubibin Jie. For some reason, it suddenly fell in love with the aura of the boy just now. As Bai Hao ran home in a flash, he first awakened the elf cultivation system in his heart. System, what's the situation? Why did you suddenly wake up? Returning to the host, system awakening requires the host to have an elf or establish a bond with a certain elf. Upon seeing this, Bai Hao became even more puzzled. Did you just establish a bond? The grace of saving lives is also a form of bondage. If he had known this, Bai Hao would have been squatting on the street waiting for the elf to have a car accident. Bai Hao quickly set aside his thoughts and asked, System, what functions do you have? The divine-level elf cultivation system can help hosts explore elf attributes, including but not limited to attributes such as level, characteristics, personality, qualifications, individual values, skills, etc. It can also help the host find elf cultivation resources in this world. After completing the tasks published by the system, special items will also be rewarded only related to cultivating elves. Bai Hao's eyebrows furrowed slightly, and what about me? All functions of the divine-level elf cultivation system revolve around elf cultivation. This is the only way. Bai Hao felt a little regretful, but quickly recovered. It doesn't matter. As long as the power of the elves is also a reflection of the trainer's strength. Bai Hao is not a greedy person either. He is already satisfied with having golden fingers. Next. What is the situation with this chat group? Didi, the post-apocalyptic chat group is a communication platform designed to assist the heavens and realms in resisting the post-apocalypse, detected that this world is the end of the world, inviting you to join. Do you agree? The end of the world. Bai Hao frowned slightly. This world used to be just an ordinary urban world. Over 300 years ago, due to some unknown reason, this world suddenly merged with the Pokémon world. Over the past 300 years, there have been continuous fusion of Pokémon world fragments and this world, forming a unique secret realm space. And these elves are all brought out of the secret realm space and gradually integrated into the real society. The fusion process of world fragments, some gentle, some violent. The same goes for the elves in the secret realm. Bai Hao thought of the strength of those championship-level elves in reality, and also thought of the irritable first-level gods in the Pokémon world. If a crazy, first-level god, invades in the future, this world is no different from the apocalypse. Bai Hao no longer hesitated and immediately chose to agree. Group member, Bai Hao, has joined the chat group. Bai Hao is the only group member with upgraded permissions. Congratulations to Bai Hao on becoming an administrator. The function panel of the chat group is quite simple. Check-in, lottery, enhancement, recycling, the 4 sections are clear at a glance. Unlike the elf system, the main target of the chat group is Bai Hao himself. The functions inside are all for Bai Hao's service. The group member invitation function has not been activated yet. Please complete the specified task. Bai Hao just scanned the function panel and suddenly heard 2 more beeps in his mind. Ding dong, detected other special features. Do you want to merge and upgrade? Didi, detected other special features. Do you want to merge and upgrade? Bai Hao was taken aback and quickly asked after him, what changes will occur after the fusion upgrade? Ding dong, after fusion, some functions will be enhanced, all rewards will be upgraded, and the host can obtain all the abilities of their own elves. Didi. After integration, the functions of other group members remain unchanged, and the functional section of member, Bai Hao, will be expanded. The task template will be upgraded, and the chat group reward can be applied to Pokémon. The things in the chat group can be used on elves. I can also obtain all the abilities of elves. Bai Hao's eyes suddenly lit up. Isn't this eating more with one fish? After fusion, completing a task can earn more rewards. Give all the rewards to the elves again. After the elves are strengthened, Bai Hao can still obtain the same abilities as the elves. That is to say, if I obtain the ZG Gong from the chat group, and then give this ability to my elf, I can simultaneously obtain the power of elves and the free extreme mind skill. In theory, this possibility exists. Upon hearing this, Bai Hao did not hesitate and immediately upgraded the 2 golden fingers. Ding dong upgrade completed. Why is the system's ding dong prompt sound? Do you want to change the prompt tone to beep? No need. Bai Hao thought that this prompt sound was implying something, but he didn't expect it to be just his own overthinking. The initial task has been changed. Initial task. Own your own Pokémon. Reward. 1. The chat group has activated the group member invitation function, and the check.in lottery section is officially open. 2. Reward special items. This reward is related to the quality/attributes of capturing Pokémon. Chapter 3, Back by the Window, Wang's Hometown. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. Dragon Kingdom, Neon Province, Chiba City. Zhongwu High School, Class 1, Grade 3. Bai Hao stepped on the bell and came to the classroom. Seeing Bai Hao at the door from Bibin J, he was about to stand up and express his gratitude. The ringing class bell rang her back. The girl twisted her face and looked pitifully at Bai Hao. Bai Hao smiled slightly, pretended nothing had happened, and walked towards his seat. As he passed by Bibin J, Jie couldn't help but gently tug at Bai Hao's sleeve. Bai Hao blinked his eyes and gestured to Shizuka Jing at the door with his eyes. Jie hurriedly released Bai Hao. The snowfall ahead has been secretly observing Bai Hao's performance. Seeing that nothing seemed to have happened to him, I secretly breathed a sigh of relief. Today is a very important day. If it was because of her that Bai Hao missed out on such a big life event, snowy snowfall is likely to bring lifelong guilt. Back by the window, Wang's hometown. Bai Hao sat back in the chair and gently tapped the girl with a wavy head beside him. Good morning, shall we? The girl nodded expressionlessly and responded softly, Good morning, Bai Jun. Upon seeing Bai Hao sitting down, Hiratsuka Jing scanned the excited group of young girls in his eyes and nodded in satisfaction. This is the vitality that young people should possess. I know you're looking forward to having your own Pokémon, but for now, keep quiet. Hiratsuka gently clapped her hands, and everyone quickly regained their composure, but the excitement in her eyes could not be concealed. The class monitor called the roll. Yes. In the Dragon Kingdom, the college entrance examination can be said to be a watershed in one's life. Most students who are wealthy and have good grades choose Elf University, in the future, become a respected elf trainer, cultivator, or researcher. Those ordinary students with poor grades and no money can only attend ordinary universities and pursue ordinary careers. The most crucial event before the college entrance examination is to subdue the elves. Unlike the children in anime who can travel at the age of 10. In reality, it takes at least 18 years of age to tame elves, and you must achieve a passing score or above in the high school entrance examination. The specific time for subduing elves varies from country to country. In order to familiarize students with elves and plan their future time, Dragon Kingdom has set the time for the elves to be tamed at the beginning of the second semester of their third year of high school. This approach not only allows students to spend a semester blending in with the elves, but also leaves them time to plan their own future. By the time of the college entrance examination, students will have a clearer understanding of how to make decisions. Therefore, High school students in this world are generally about 1 year older than high school students in Bai Hao's previous life. The total military high school where Bai Hao is located has the highest deviation value in Chiba City. In the Neon province, the admission rate of top universities from General Wuhan High School consistently ranks among the top 5. If the school's strength is strong enough, the country will provide more resources. The allocated sprites will naturally be better. Bai Hao's class only had 40 people, and the class monitor quickly completed the roll call. Hiratsuka Jing took over the list, signed his name on it, and cleared his throat. The personal score for the certificate examination was already sent out a few days ago. The classmate who named me will go out for me. As soon as the words fell, the students below couldn't hold back any longer. They looked left and right, enviously at Bai Hao and others. The most straightforward manifestation of the high quality of the total martial high, elf pool, is, the top 3 students in the high school entrance examination can choose the Imperial 3 families as their initial Pokémon. The concept of Youxizi was discovered 200 years ago by scientists who studied literature in secret realms. Afterwards, this title was brought to the real world. Real trainers quickly discovered the advantages of this group of Pokémon. It is easy to cultivate in childhood and has high combat power in adulthood. Ordinary elves are either easy to cultivate but have low combat power. For example, Nidoran, Little Lotta, Green Caterpillar, and so on. Either it has high combat power, but the training cost is also high. For example, Cabby Beast, Tyrannosaurus Rex, Minas, and so on. And this group of Imperial 3 families has almost no shortcomings except for their rare numbers. Therefore, it is also known as the most suitable initial elf for novice trainers. On the market, a young or intact pet egg from Youxizi can be sold for over 1.5 million dragon coins. Excellent quality products from Youxizi can even exceed 5 million yuan in price. Even if the price is so high, there is still a price but no market. How could this kind of elf, as the initial elf, not be enviable? Of course, there are more than just the 3 imperial families in the elf pool of the General Martial High School. Apart from the top 3 schools, the remaining elves are also much better than ordinary schools. Hiratsuka Jing scanned the list and felt a bit hesitant to speak, so she instinctively rubbed her fingers. Bai Hao. 2. Snowy Snowfall. 2. Qian Fantian Aichi. 2. A black, straight and beautiful girl wearing a white headband. Her eyes dimmed a bit when she heard the list. Before the girl's sorrow could rise, Hiratsuka's voice came again, Xia Ji Qiu Shiryu. The girl was slightly stunned and looked up at Hizuka Jing in confusion. After Hizuka Jing recited her 4th name, she immediately released the shackles in her heart, smile at the girl and shout again, didn't Xia Ji Qiu Shiyu hear it? Arrive. The girl instantly turned cloudy and sunny, with a charming smile on her lips, and then immediately returned to her usual cold demeanor. But the class was fried. What's the situation? Didn't there only be 3 last year? Why is there 1 more this year? Did teacher Hiratsuka make a mistake in pronunciation? Who knows? Quiet. Bang. Hiratsuka's face darkened as she slapped the podium. The students in the class are silent and dare not say much. Hizuka Jing nodded with satisfaction and explained in her heart, although there are usually only 3 spots for total martial high, there are exceptions. If there are enough new elves in a certain year, our school may also receive 1 or 2 more spots. So this year's situation is not an exception. Seemingly to boost herself, Hiratsuka nodded forcefully. These are all recorded in school history, and those who are interested should know some. After speaking, Hizuka Jing waved to the 4 of them and turned to the class monitor, instructing them, the class monitor will serve the Pokémon ball and I will be back soon. Special circumstances. Isn't it an isolated case? Bai Hao walked out of the classroom and glanced at the icy girl Xuexia and the curious baby Qian Fantian beside him, laughing but not speaking. Just as Hiratsuka was about to distribute the Poke Ball to the four, he saw Bai Hao's expression and his heart beat faster. As if the secret of his heart had been discovered, Hiratsuka spoke sternly and inwardly, "Bai Hao. What kind of eyes are you looking at?" Chapter 4. Jianghu is not about fighting and killing, it's about. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Bai Hao blinked at Shizuka Jing and gave her a, "I understand you" look. "Teacher, I understand, #####." Shizuka clenched his fist in anger and swung it viciously. "Do you still want your Pokémon ball?" "I want it. How could I possibly not?" Bai Hao took 4 small boxes containing super balls from Hiratsuka Jing's hand. According to the list on the box, it was sent to the other 3 women. The image of Xuexia Xuani and Xiaozikiu Shiyu to the outside world is that of a cold and aloof girl. Chihiro Akira is a serious and polite young lady. The 3 women are not as lively as Bibin Jie, and Hiratsuka Jing can only chat with Bai Hao around her. Shizuka Jing glanced at the silent 3 women and turned his head to glare at Bai Hao. "Although the 4 of you have excellent grades and don't lack knowledge related to elves, I still want to remind you of a few points. This time, we have a total of 4 spots in the General Martial High School, for the Imperial 3 families. You 4 are among the top 4 students in our school's high school entrance examination, so these 4 spots naturally fall on you. The school has assigned you a Super Ball, and your fingerprints have been recorded. After you conquer the Pokémon, just register. As agreed, you only have half an hour. If you don't successfully tame the elf you want half an hour later, you can only go back to class and wait to go to the elf courtyard to tame other elves. And the unconquered elf will also be placed in the elf courtyard. Before the end of the college entrance examination in June, you only have this chance to tame the elves. Be sure to seize it. Do you understand?" Xiaozikiu Shiyu instinctively nodded, but her mind couldn't help but diverge. Since entering the General Martial High School, Bai Hao has always been the top student in the academic year. There have never been any changes in these 3 years. And the rest of Snow, Chianti Tanaka, and herself wandered back and forth in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th places. In previous years, there were only 3 spots for the General Martial High School. This also means that one of them will definitely not be able to obtain the Imperial 3 families. And the family under Snow is a prominent family in Chiba City. His father is the deputy county magistrate of a county in Chiba City, and his mother is a senior member of the Elf Rescue Association. Chihiro Tanaka's background is equally impressive. The largest supplier of Pokémon food in Chiba City is the assets of the Chianti Tian family. Elf food is not a business that ordinary people can do. Elves are the most destructive creatures in this world. Elf food/medicine is basically equivalent to arms and ammunition 300 years ago. This is a business with strong strategic value. From this, we can see the heritage of the Chianti Tian family. With the strength of these 2 families, how could their precious daughter miss out on the high-quality Pokémon of the Imperial Sanjiao? But the high school entrance examination is also a top-secret level document. It is impossible for the 2 families to know the results in advance. The only solution is to find a way to give the General Martial High a spot for the Imperial 3 families. The daughters of both families have never dropped out of the top 4. If the number of spots is increased to 4, they still lose the election, then we can only blame our own daughter for her poor fortune. Of course, the current situation is also within the expectations of both companies. Xuexia and Qian Fantian are both in the top 3, and the prepared Youxizi family falls into the hands of others. Both companies do not care about this situation, it's better to say. It would be better if this situation occurred. This situation will not be criticized by people for using the back door. Under the reminder of Bai Hao, Xiaozikiu Shiyu quickly understood the twists and turns inside. But she didn't show anything unusual either. After all, this time it was her Xia Zhiqiu Shiyu who took advantage. She still holds a grateful heart for Snow and Qianti Tian. 4 people followed behind Shizuka Jing, listening to her explain a long list of familiar precautions. 5 people left the teaching building and headed straight for the gymnasium. As the distance approached, Bai Hao's system finally had a response. 200 meters ahead, a 2V small fire dragon was discovered. 198 meters ahead, 3V Mu Shogun was discovered. 198 meters ahead, 3V Bogomon detected. 196 meters ahead, a 4V Croaker frog was found. Bai Hao was taken aback for a moment, and his gaze instinctively glanced toward Shuexia and Qian Fantian beside him. Good guy, I thought it was already exaggerated to have an additional, Imperial 3 families. I didn't expect them to put in so much effort to obtain 4 such top-notch, Imperial 3 families. There is still a difference between real and past games. Different Pokémon definitely have different qualifications. Characteristic is a manifestation of a special ability that many mediocre elves lack. The most noteworthy qualification is the individual value. Individual value is a special data that the system concretizes according to the settings of previous games. The individual value is equivalent to the innate growth of an elf in a certain attribute. The higher the value, the higher the attribute growth brought about by the upgrade. This value has a minimum of 0 and a maximum of 31. In previous lifetimes, players referred to individuals with 31 full points as V. 1 full value is 1V, 2R, 2V, and the highest is 6V. It is difficult to encounter elves in 1V now, surprisingly, for elves with over 2V appeared in one breath. There is no method to detect individual values in reality. But based on the genetics of the elf's parents and testing with special instruments, the qualification of this elf can still be roughly determined. I think these 4 elves have put a lot of effort into their families. Hiratsuka Jing pushed open the entrance of the gymnasium and turned to signal to the 4 people, come on, choose your favorite initial elf. Seeking evaluation tickets for flower collection. Chapter 5. The Horror Effect of Elf Affinity Max. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. The current gymnasium is very different from before. There are several special instruments added to the venue, and a small garden is also arranged in the center. 4 little elves were playing happily inside. The 3 women were captured by these 4 cute creatures as soon as they entered the door. Without waiting for the 4 people to approach, these 4 little elves looked over at the same time if they felt something. Kana, Bujia, Chafu, Gua Gua, 4 little guys ran unsteadily towards the 4 of them, clinging to the railing and cheerfully shouting non-stop. Hiratsuka Jing picked up 4 prepared bags of tree fruits and looked at the scene before her in surprise. Are these 4 little ones so afraid of life? You have a great personality, right? Bai Hao glanced at his panel and smiled silently. Name. Bai Hao, feature. Pokémon Affinity Max. Since these 4 little ones are so talkative, you can just go in and play with them for a while. Pokémon from childhood are best tamed. Unless this elf really hates you, otherwise, as long as you give him something to eat and play with him, you can quickly establish a friendship. Without hesitation, Bai Hao stepped over the railing and sat among the 4 little ones, checking their attributes one by one. Kana, the little dragon, pounced and hugged Bai Hao's thigh. Bai Hao bent down and sat cross-legged on the grass, gently caressing the yellow-white belly of the little fire dragon with his hands. Kana, the little dragon, squinted its eyes comfortably. Little fire dragon, fire, gender. Female sign, level. LV5, childhood, feature. Fierce fire, personality. Brave, plus physical attack. Speed, individual value, 165. HP, 31, physical attack, 31, physical defense, 24, special attack, 28, special defense, 23, Speed, 28, Skills. Grab, Cry, Spark, Bite, Qualification Rating. Quasi-Heavenly King, according to the rating of the Bai Hao system, qualification scores from low to high are Novice, Ordinary, Elite, Taoist, Quasi-Heavenly King, Champion. Taking the elves of the Imperial three families as an example, those with an individual value of 150 or above have the qualification of a quasi-heavenly king. The individual value of this small fire dragon in front of me is 165, and it also has the characteristic of fierce fire. If cultivated well, it is not impossible to break through to the level of the heavenly king in the future. Chafu, before little fire dragon could lie in Bai Hao's arms for a while longer, he was pushed away by the Mu Shogun behind him. Bai Hao humorously picked up Mu Shogun and explored its attributes. Mu Shogun, Grass, Gender. Female sign, Level. LV4, Childhood, Characteristic. Lush, Personality. Naughty, plus Attack. Special Defense, Individual Value, 166. HP, 23, Physical Attack, 31, Physical Defense, 31, Special Attack, 27, Special Defense, 23, Speed, 31, Skills. Clap, Stare, Leaves, Drain, Qualification Rating. Quasi-Heavenly King, this Mu Shogun also possesses characteristics, even having an individual value slightly higher than that of the little fire dragon. But her special attack is a bit low. Moreover, the Lizard King has a single grass attribute, which is not comparable to the fire-flying double attribute Spitfire Dragon. Although it appears that the 3V of Mu Shogun is a bit stronger than the 2V of Xiaohao, if we let Bai Hao rank it, Bai Hao will rank her behind Little Fire Dragon. After briefly comforting Mu Shogun, Bai Hao picked him up and stood at the end of Bagamon. Bujia, the little penguin happily flapped its wings and kept drilling into Bai Hao's arms. Bagamon, Water, Gender. Female sign, Level. LV4, Childhood, Feature. Rapids, Personality. Serious, Individual Value, 170. HP, 31, Physical Attack, 27, Physical Defense, 25, Special Attack, 31, Special Defense, 31, Speed, 25, Skills. Clash, Cry, Ultrasound, Qualification Rating. Heavenly King, seeing the attributes of Bagamon, Bai Hao's eyes lit up. 170 individual value plus Rapids characteristics, a safe future king. Moreover, Bagamon's 3V is HP, Special Attack, and Special Defense. The final form of the Borgemen Emperor, Napo, has the highest two race values of Special Attack, 111, and Special Defense, 101. Emperor Nebo with dual attributes of water and steel, combined with 3V individual value that can carry and fight, this Bagamon can definitely rank ahead of the little fire dragon. Bai Hao smiled and scratched the little one's stomach. If the 4V of Guagua Bubble Frog is not very impressive, I will choose you. Bai Hao put down Bagamon and picked up the quiet croaker frog surrounding him. To be honest, as a traveler, Bai Hao still has some feelings for the Kaga ninja frog. That Bond evolution of Xiaoji back then was really handsome. May I ask, which trainer doesn't want to have such a handsome and powerful Pokémon? I hope you little one can give me a surprise. With an excited heart, Bai Hao clicked on the attribute panel of Guagua Bubble Frog. Guagua Pao Frog, Water, Gender. Female sign, Level. LV5, Childhood, Feature. Rapids, Hidden Feature. Tide Transformation, Personality. Diligent, Individual Value, 181. HP, 30, Physical Attack, 31, Physical Defense, 27, Special Attack, 31, Special Defense, 31, Speed, 31, Skills. Clash, Cry, Water Gun, Double Return, Qualification Rating. Champion, seeking evaluation tickets for collecting flowers. Chapter 6, Bai Hao. Being too popular is also a kind of distress. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Bai Hao suppressed his desire to curse and carefully looked at the panel of Guagua Pao frog. The total individual value is as high as 181. Only 5 points short of reaching the full 6V individual. The three most important attributes of double attack and 1 speed are all at full value. HP is just 1 point away from reaching 31. This croaking frog can be said to be a fake 5V. According to the system's rating, the total individual value is greater than or equal to 180, with complete characteristics and hidden characteristics, and the personality does not lag behind. Meeting all 4 points is the qualification for the championship. And the croaking frog in front of me undoubtedly meets this standard. I thought that Bogomon was already doing well, but I didn't expect the frog cub to be another surprise. Bai Hao happily hugged the croaked frog and gently stroked its soft belly. Guagua Pao frog waited for so long just to lie down in Bai Hao's arms and enjoy his touch. Now that I have fulfilled my wish, I also squint my eyes happily. Bujia, Bogomon, who was lying on Bai Hao's lap, seemed to see that Bai Hao was planning to choose the croaker frog and let out a cry of grievance. Bujia, the little fire dragon on the side waited in line for a long time, but when he saw that Bai Hao didn't seem to want to let go of the croaked frog in his arms, he also squeezed in. Ka na, chafu, Mu Shogun was also unwilling to be outdone, hugging Bai Hao's leg and constantly acting coquettishly. Guagua Bubble Frog lay comfortably on Bai Hao's arm, unmoved by the 3 little companions below. Gua, stop shouting, we're really unfamiliar. Bai Hao didn't expect the Pokémon Affinity reward after the system was turned on to be so powerful. As soon as we met, these little guys couldn't help but fall into the trap. Alright, I and the 3 sisters next to me are all good friends. If you choose them as trainers, we can also meet frequently. Bai Hao held the croaking frog in one hand and stroked the 3 little ones one by one, comforting them in a gentle voice. Let the 3 people under the snow on the side envy Bai Hao's treatment immensely. Bai Hao quickly gave the 3rd daughter a wink. The 3 women immediately understood. Glancing at each other, they made a tacit decision. Under the snow, he was the first to arrive in front of Shizuka Jing and without hesitation, chose a bag of tree fruits that Bogomon liked. Qian Fantian Aichi smiled and awkwardly bowed to Xia Zhiqiu Shiyu as a gesture. Xia Zhiqiu Shiyu waved his hand indifferently, but his gaze couldn't help but glance at the little fire dragon on Bai Hao's lap. The beautiful legs wrapped in black pantyhose couldn't help but tremble. Qian Fantian Aichi came to Hiratsuka Jing and hesitated for a moment before choosing the bag of tree fruits that Kishiwago liked. Thank you, Teacher Hiratsuka Jing, the girl whispered her gratitude to Shizuka and walked over to Bai Hao with the tree fruit. Xiaohao Shiyu took a deep breath and took the tree fruit handed over by Pingzojing, whispering her gratitude. Shizuka Jing nodded in satisfaction and threw the tree fruit in his hand to Bai Hao sitting on the ground. She could tell that all 4 of Bai Hao had chosen their favorite Pokémon. This kind of joyful scene made her particularly satisfied with this year's allocation of work to the 3 imperial families. As is well known, the Imperial Academy is very friendly to new trainers. As long as you play with it for a while and feed it something, you can basically take it down. So when allocating the 3 imperial families, there are often scenes of competing with each other. Although the default is to prioritize students with good grades, there are always people who disagree. Every year at this time, teachers feel a headache. Sometimes, the total score difference between the 2nd and 3rd places is only 1 or 2 points, and even the 3rd place elf course is slightly higher than the 2nd place. In this situation, it is very difficult for the teacher to handle disputes. If there are people who share the same score, and both of them have just hit the same elf, it will be even more difficult for the teacher to handle. Only teachers who have hosted several sessions of elf conquest can appreciate the rarity of such scenes. However, Shizuka Jing glanced at the elves surrounding Bai Hao, and then at the three daughters surrounding the elves. This kind of scene doesn't seem to end well either. Mu Shougong and Qian Fantian have a good relationship. Qian Fantian fed a few bites of the tree fruit, and the little one obediently ran over. Xia Zhiqiu seems to have done his homework ahead of schedule. Xia Huolong was touched by Xia Ziqiu a few times, and then lay down obediently, quietly enjoying the massage of Xia Ziqiu. Only Bogomon kept holding on to Bai Hao's thigh, crying and screaming non-stop. After Bai Hao subdued the croaked frog, he released it again and allowed her to eat tree fruits and watch a play on the side. He comforted this pitiful little penguin together with snow. Bogomon is a proud penguin Pokémon. This is the first time that Bai Hao has met the crying and coquettish Bogomon in front of him. Unfortunately, no matter how much Bogomon cried, Bai Hao couldn't take her in. Because before the end of the college entrance examination, any student can only hold one Pokémon distributed by the school. This is also to ensure the fairness of the college entrance examination. If it weren't for this restriction, no one would know what level of elves those descendants of high-ranking officials would bring to participate in the college entrance examination. As for after the college entrance examination, then we can only rely on our abilities. After all, no one can take care of you for a lifetime. The two of them coaxed for more than 10 minutes before Bogomon agreed to be subdued by the snow. Under the snow, which was sweating profusely from exhaustion, I gently wiped the fragrant sweat from my forehead and looked gratefully at Bai Hao, whispering softly, "Thank you, Bai Haojun. I owe you another favor." Qian Fantian Aichi looked at the two of them curiously on the side. Why is Bai Haojun so popular with little elves? Why did the classmate under the snow say that she owed another favor? Did the two of them have anything before? I'm curious. Bai Hao waved his hand and said nonchalantly, "It's nothing." He is now more concerned about the rewards given by the system. Ding dong, the initial task has been completed. Request for a flower collection evaluation ticket. Chapter 7. My frog cub is a master of water escape. Inviting. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The chat group, check.in, and lottery functions have been activated. The permission to invite group members has been opened. Rewards. Water Escape Ninjutsu Complete Collection, Fire Shadow World Unprinted Edition, X1, customized version of Guagua Bubble Frog Energy Block X20, Water Attribute Individual Value Fruit X3. Bai Hao widened his eyes when he saw the reward given by the golden finger. At this moment, Hiratsuka's silence interrupted Bai Hao's thoughts. Alright, now that you have successfully conquered your respective Pokémon, your main task for today has also been completed. If you want to stay at school, stay at school. If you want to follow me to the elf courtyard, go back to the classroom and wait. If you want to go home, you can also leave. Bai Hao immediately stood up from the ground, retrieved the croaked frog from the Pokémon ball, and said to Shizuka Jing, "Teacher, I'll go back first. I also need to buy some food and daily necessities for the frog cub." Upon seeing this, the three women also withdrew their elves and bid farewell to the peaceful tomb one by one. Xue had not yet figured out how to talk to Bai Hao, but in the blink of an eye, Bai Hao disappeared again. Looking at Bai Hao's back under the snow, I could only sigh lightly and silently leave the gymnasium. Qian Fantian became even more curious when he saw his performance under the snow. Xia Zhiqiu captured a panoramic view of the two of them, and with a slight cough, she caught the attention of the two women. Seeing the two women looking at her, Xia Zhiqiu embraced her with both hands and suggested with a serious expression, "I remember nobody joined the club, right? Why don't we invite Bai Haojun and establish a new club?" As soon as Snowfall was about to reject this proposal, Xia Zhiqiu added, "In this way, we also have a relatively private place to exchange elf experiences at school. And didn't we promise the little ones to let them out and play with Bai Haojun?" If I hadn't spoken yet under the snow, I choked back in an instant. Bogerman's performance was seen by everyone. She couldn't refuse Xiaohao Shiyu's proposal at all. Upon hearing this, Chihiro Tanaka raised her right hand, like a well-behaved baby waiting for the teacher to call her name. Xiaohao Shiyu smiled slightly. Qian Fantian doesn't need to have such a high score, just say it directly. What if Bai Haojun doesn't agree? Times 2 Bai Hao's home is not far from Zhongwugao, it's only about a 10-minute walk away. Bai Hao ran home, locked the door, quickly passed through the new features of the chat group, and then started checking the rewards. What is the situation with this water escape ninjutsu? Do you need a chakra? All reward items/skills have no energy limit. Bai Hao nodded in satisfaction and then asked after him, if I use it for the croaker frog, can it freely release ninjutsu? As long as there is enough energy in the body and certain level requirements are met, ninjutsu can be used freely. Bai Hao frowned slightly when he saw the restriction requirements. The ninjutsu in the world of Hokage may be slightly superior to those ordinary Pokémon in previous lives. But it is not an exaggeration to say that the world where Bai Hao is located is a world of divine spirits. The full attack of the Heavenly King level elves possesses nuclear power. Champion level elves have the ability to move mountains, fill the sea, and destroy the country alone. In Hokage, only the peak period of Uchiha and Chikazuma can compete with them. In this world, champion level elves are just the endpoint of ordinary elves. On top of this, there are at least 4 levels. 3rd level God, 2nd level God, 1st level God, and Creator God. But in the world of Hokage, there is only one level 6 above the Super Shadow that involves divine power. Bai Hao's croaked frog already has the qualification to become a champion. That is to say, as long as Bai Hao cultivates it seriously, the future Jiaha ninja frog will also be at least a 1,000-handed pillar-level water system Super Shadow. Compared to the strength of Kaga ninja frog itself, this water escape ninjutsu seems a bit lacking. After all, the strongest members of Shueidun are only at the shadow level. I always feel a bit chicken-like. Bai Hao informed the system of his ideas. A system-produced product must be a masterpiece. All rewards received by the host have been improved and revised by the system, please use them with confidence. So, has it been strengthened? Bai Hao nodded thoughtfully. Pokémon has a variety of moves and functions, but there are few ways to attack them. Ninjutsu is simple and intuitive, but its attack methods are more diverse. Taking the Kaga ninja frog as an example, the only moves with a power of 150 are Destroy Light and Cannon Water Cannon. And there is still a certain amount of stiffness after using both. If Kaga ninja frog, after learning ninjutsu, can master the same power of Water Bite Burst, Hard Vortex Water Blade, and Water Broken Wave, even if the power of ninjutsu is slightly lower, only 140, or even 130. For Kaga ninja frog, it is a significant improvement. Bai Hao pondered for a while and found that it was indeed beneficial and harmless, immediately handed over the complete collection of water escape ninjutsu to the frog cub. Do you want to use Water Escape Ninjutsu Complete Collection, for Elf? Guagua Bubble Frog. Tip. The intimacy of the croaker frog is greater than or equal to 200, meeting the usage conditions. Oh. Bai Hao didn't expect that after just playing with his own frog cub for a while, his intimacy would exceed 200. However, this intimacy limit is indeed very human. If not restricted, it can indeed cause many unnecessary troubles. Bai Hao nodded in satisfaction. Use. Successfully used. Bai Hao felt the memory of ninjutsu in his mind and nodded in satisfaction. As expected, I can master whatever the frog has mastered. Bai Hao continues to check the remaining rewards. The function of the energy block is very simple, it is to upgrade the frog cub. However, unlike the game effects, the frog cub needs time to digest the experience inside after eating it. Proper exercise will accelerate the digestion process. What surprised Bai Hao the most were those 3 individual value fruits. Individual value fruit. Randomly increase individual value by 1 point after use. The maximum individual value is 31, without hesitation. Bai Hao took out 3 fruits and stuffed them all into the mouth of Guaguapeo frog. Individual value, 181 plus 3. HP, 30 plus 1, physical defense, 27 plus 2, frog cubs hold their cheeks in both hands, enjoying the delicious food in their mouths. Bai Hao smiled and rubbed its head. I've finished reading the rewards now, let's get down to business. Start inviting group members. The group member invitation was successful. The Holy Emperor has joined the group chat, the Natural School Doctor has joined the group chat. Hua Zhu has joined the group chat. Great at chatting, really join the group chat. Request for a flower collection evaluation ticket. Chapter 8. Great Chatting Master. Bold. Which? You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Very good at chatting, Jinjuan. This thing is quite strange, it can appear directly in the sea of consciousness of this immortal. I don't know which immortal's work it is. Very good at chatting, Jinjuan. Very good at chatting, Jinjuan. This immortal is Luyun borrowing wind, Jinjuan. What does this, very good at chatting, Jinjuan, mean? Natural School Doctor. Natural School Doctor. Am I dreaming? What a strange dream. Style. Allah Allah, it seems like something amazing has appeared in my mind. Style. Is it a blood ghost technique of a certain winding ghost? Style. It's really amazing ability. Very good at chatting. True June ghost. What the hell? Very good at chatting, Jinjuan. This immortal is Luyun Jiefeng Jinjuan, the immortal of Liyue. Very good at chatting, Jinjuan. What is blood ghost art? This thing sounds very dirty. Holy Emperor. So. Is this any new technology? Why does an invisible screen appear in front of me? Holy Emperor. Are you also from Tokyo? Bai Hao was a homestead man in his previous life, and he had a certain understanding of the anime. After a few brief speeches, Bai Hao basically confirmed their identities. However, the most important thing now is to briefly introduce the chat group function to everyone. Bai Hao. I have a rough understanding of your identities. Please listen to me first. Very good at chatting. True June Bai Hao. The name should be Li Yuren. Did you make this thing? Bai Hao. That's not the case. As the group name suggests, this is a chat group where the heavens and realms communicate with each other to resist the apocalypse. Bai Hao. Everyone, please be calm and allow me to introduce the functions of chat groups to you first. Bai Hao. The most basic ability of a chat group is to digitize the abilities of its members, allowing everyone to intuitively understand all their abilities and attributes. Bai Hao. In addition, it can also detect the level of the apocalypse in this world and upcoming apocalyptic events. Solve the apocalyptic event to receive certain rewards. Bai Hao. The above 2 abilities are permanent abilities and do not require any payment. Bai Hao. Sign in. Each person can sign in once a day and randomly earn 1.100 points. This is the simplest way for group members to earn points. Bai Hao. Lottery. Draw once with 1,000 points to randomly obtain items or skills from various heavens and worlds. Bai Hao. However, I recommend everyone to accumulate enough 9,000 points to draw 10 consecutive draws. 10% discount plus guaranteed reward, more affordable. Bai Hao. Enhancement. Using points can enhance one's own attributes or abilities, as well as eliminate negative effects. Bai Hao. Recycling. You can recycle your own abilities or items, and exchange them for points. Bai Hao. The current functions are roughly these. Everyone can first understand their own situation. After explaining to the women, Bai Hao immediately clicked on Sign In. Bai Hao successfully signed in and earned 100 points. Bai Hao was slightly stunned, not expecting to earn 100 points on his first check.in. Is it luck or, administrator, benefits? I didn't receive a response from the chat group, and Bai Hao didn't care either. As long as you don't suffer losses yourself. Very good at chatting, Jinjuan. My various abilities can indeed be detected one by one in the chat group. But why is Tiv at the end of the 8 stars? Do you mean the abyss? Holy Emperor. I am from the 4-star apocalypse. Does it refer to protozoa? Natural school doctor. Humph. Why do we also have the apocalypse here? But it's okay, it's just the end of Samsung. Style. Allah Allah, my world is also the end of the 3 stars. Is it because of ghosts? Bai Hao saw that all the women had issued their own world's apocalyptic level, and he also explained it accordingly. Bai Hao. My world is the end of 10 stars. Bai Hao. Luyan borrowed the wind from Jinjuan, I feel like you might be a bit off-center. Bai Hao. Although I really don't want to say that, I don't think Tianli and Abyss can reach the level of the 8-star apocalypse. Bai Hao. 8 stars, is likely to exist above the level of, First Throne Fanes. Bai Hao also hopes that the 8 stars are only the level of heavenly principles and Abyss. Because of this, his 10-star appearance doesn't seem so beyond imagination. But unfortunately, Bai Hao's intuition told him that, 8 stars, is definitely not such a simple thing. Very good at chatting, Jinjuan. Bai Hao, you seem to know Tibet very well. Bai Hao did not respond to Luyan Jiefeng Jinjuan's question immediately. Bai Hao understands this, chatty real gentleman, very well, and if the two of them really talk, it may take a long time. Bai Hao. Your speculation, Holy Emperor and Xiang Naiwi, should be correct. Bai Hao. Are you Chuan Shizuka, a natural school doctor? Natural school doctor. Humph. Do Bai Hao Juan know me? Are they students from the school? Bai Hao. Have you seen Resident Evil? Your world will also explode with zombies in the future. Very good at chatting, Jinjuan. According to the introduction of the chat group, we should come from different worlds. Why do you know so much about us, Bai Hao? Bai Hao. This is difficult to explain. You can decide whether you believe it or not. Bai Hao. The Holy Emperor and the Wind-borrowing True Lord, you two should not be in danger of your lives in this world for the time being. Bai Hao. Speaking of this, your name is too long, it's so troublesome to call it Luyan Jiefeng Jinjuan. Very good at chatting, Jinjuan. If you feel inconvenient, you can also call me Xian Yun. This is the name of this immortal walking in the world. Bai Hao. This will be much more convenient. I originally planned to call you, that woman. Very good at chatting, true gentleman. Reckless. What woman? Chapter 9, Chuan Shizuka. Bai Hao Juan has a bad heart. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Bai Hao. Xiang Naiwi, how old are you this year? Style. Ah, why did Bai Hao Juan start asking about age? Bai Hao. I want to remind you that when you were 17 years old, you encountered the current second-string player, Tong Mo, while carrying out a ghost extermination mission. And then he sacrificed himself. Bai Hao. When encountering crises related to the end of the world, through personal application, one can post the end of the world task in the chat group. Bai Hao. As long as the application is approved without any cost, you can invite group members to your own world to assist in completing tasks. Bai Hao. Whether or not to participate in the task is decided by each member themselves, so you don't have to worry about coercion. And after the task is completed, both parties have rewards to receive from each other. Bai Hao. Jingxiang, how old are you? Natural school doctor. Ah, is it so dangerous? I am 27 years old this year. Bai Haojun, do you remember when I encountered a crisis? Bai Hao. I don't know, I just casually asked. Bai Hao. But I know that when the zombie crisis broke out, Ryoko Tokushima was in his 3rd year of high school. Bai Hao. On the day of the school crisis, your good friend Nanlixiang went to the airport to carry out a mission. Natural school doctor. Bai Haojun has bad intentions. Bullying people. Natural school doctor. I trust you so much, you actually deceive me. Very good at chatting, Zhenjun Bai Hao is indeed a bit presumptuous. Surprisingly calling herself a fairy, that woman. Bai Hao. Xianyun, please pay attention to whether there are any travelers named Ying or Kong in Liyue. Bai Hao. Ying is a girl. She came to Liyue to find her brother, Kong. Bai Hao. Kong is a boy, come to Liyue to find his sister, Ying. Bai Hao. I have something else to do, I'll withdraw first. After speaking, Bai Hao did not wait for the women to further inquire and went directly, offline. No one can guarantee that the world is the same as the story Bai Hao saw in his previous life. Just a brief reminder from Bai Hao is enough for everyone. Speak more and make more mistakes, speak less and make fewer mistakes. Bai Hao withdrew from the chat group and stretched lazily. Take my frog cubs shopping. Chuan Shizuka blinked her eyes in a silly and cute way, and her jade finger lightly tapped her vermilion lips, murmuring, what a strange thing, let's give Nanlixiang a call first. Chuan Shizuka dug out her phone, that. 1 is here, 2 is here, 3 is here. Chuan Shizuka fumbled for 2 minutes before making the phone call. The phone was even more connected, and a cheerful female voice came from across the street. Hello. Shizuka. Moses, this is Shizuka, are you Nanlixiang? It's me. Didn't I tell you I'm on a mission right now? Are you calling me for something? Nanlixiang, let me tell you, Chuan Shizuka was about to tell her best friend about the chat group when she suddenly realized that she couldn't speak. It seems that there is a mysterious force in the dark that prevents her from revealing anything about the chat group in any form. Hello. Shizuka. What are you saying? Chuan Shizuka tried several times, but could only give up on it. It's nothing, I just wanted to ask if you're currently on a mission at the airport. It's at the airport. But how did you know? Chuan Shizuka couldn't explain the reason and could only mutter a few words before hanging up the phone. Nanlixiang listened to the busy sound on her phone and felt a bit puzzled. Is something wrong with Shizuka? Did someone bully you? Thinking of some indescribable scene, Nanlixiang shuddered. No way. I have to go back and find her. Chiba City is very developed, second only to a few super first-tier cities such as Tokyo and Daiban in the Neon province. There are 8 elf centers in Chiba City. The elf center in the city center is the largest in scale, and it is not an exaggeration to say it is the elf city. Here, there is a variety of items available, including elf malls, elf hospitals, elf hotels, elf restaurants, elf training grounds, elf beauty salons, elf squares, and more. Elves have long been closely related to human life. Bai Hao has visited the elf center several times before. However, at that time he was not yet a trainer and could not purchase items related to elves. He just came here to buy some elf peripherals. Today can be said to be his first time shopping for elves. I have snacks, toys, and various types of wound medicine, and I have also bought a few suitable nests for frog cubs. That's all for now. After scanning the QR code to make the payment, Bai Hao left the shipping address and left the mall with his frog cub. Next, we need to exercise. Gua Gua, the croaked frog lay in Bai Hao's arms, enjoying the sun. Hello, welcome to visit. The welcoming girl saw Bai Hao's handsome face and her eyes lit up. She took the initiative to greet him, are you a newcomer trainer? Your croaking frog is really cute. Today is the day when the third-year high school students of Dragon Country obtain their initial Pokémon, and high school students like Bai Hao are recognized at a glance in their attire. Thank you. Bai Hao took out his phone, scanned the code, and entered his information. I need a training room suitable for croaking frogs. Okay, please wait a moment. Miss Ingbin wore a graceful smile on her face, took out her tablet, picked out the corresponding training room, and introduced it to Bai Hao one by one. The elf training center in the city center is very large, with training rooms suitable for various attribute elves. Although the fee is slightly higher, it's worth it. Bai Hao selected a room and led the frog cub to Water 105. The room area is not large, only 70.80 square meters. The walls and floors are made of special materials, which are sturdy and soundproof. On one side of the room is a 15 square meter shallow pool, and on the other side is a 15 square meter deep pool. In addition, there are items such as dumbbells, treadmills, sandbags, etc. Bai Hao looked around and nodded in satisfaction, then logged into the room number on his mobile app. Then put down the frog cub, lifted the test sandbag by the wall, and moved it to the shallow pool. Frog cub, let's try our skills in the water. Gua gua, the croaking frog obediently responded and jumped into the shallow pool with a splash. Bai Hao raised the corners of his mouth slightly, waved his big hand fiercely, and shouted with full momentum, Frog cub. Use the hard whirlpool water blade. Quack. Chapter 10, Youxizi. Xiaohao. You are getting more and more begging. You are listening at novel full.audio. Quack. The croaked frog responded with a fierce and majestic voice, and just as it was about to lift its right hand, it suddenly froze. Quack. I'm just a level 5 frog, are you sure you want me to use this move? Bai Hao laughed and bent down to rub the head of the frog cub. I'm teasing you, let's try the water gun first. Gua gua, Bai Hao took a few steps back and took out his phone, used the water gun. Quack. The croaked frog puffed up its cheeks and quickly completed its energy storage, puff. A thumb-sized water flow accurately hits the test sandbag. Didi. Bai Hao clicked on Test Sandbag in the app. 10.35.23, Water Attribute Attack, Damage Value 111, Frog, Use, Water Chaos Wave. Water Escape. Water Chaos Wave is a C.level ninjutsu. Except for a few auxiliary D.level ninjutsus, Water Chaos Wave can be said to be the simplest water escape attack ninjutsu. Bai Hao could feel that he seemed to be able to barely use this move, therefore, frog cubs should also be usable. As expected by Bai Hao, the croaked frog puffed up its cheeks and gathered energy. The charging time this time is a bit longer than the previous water gun. But I still managed to use my skills successfully. Unlike the water gun that condenses into small water columns, the water chaos wave rapidly expands after being spit out from the mouth. Puff. 10.35.47, Water Attribute Attack, Damage Value 144, Bai Hao's eyes lit up and he nodded in satisfaction. After more than 10 seconds, he commanded again, Frog cubs, use the water gun. 10.36.08, Water Attribute Attack, Damage Value 116, the water is chaotic. 10.36.25, Water Attribute Attack, Damage Value 148, Bai Hao tested 5 rounds in a row and ultimately found that the damage value of the water gun was between 110 and 120. The water chaos wave is between 140 and 150. In previous games, the power of water gun was 40, so it seems that the power of water chaos wave is approximately 50. Bai Hao is very satisfied with his performance in ninjutsu. Watching the frog cub's gradually rising experience bar, Bai Hao finally realized the value of the energy cube. Just a few skills were added, and the experience points visibly increased. It seems that the energy block is even more powerful than I imagined. Bai Hao didn't waste time and quickly formulated a special training plan. 5 cycles of water gun followed by 5 cycles of water chaos wave until the mana is depleted. After losing blue, practice bouncing, exercise leg muscles, and slowly return to blue. Afterwards. After carefully listing his plans on his phone, Bai Hao nodded in satisfaction. Frog cub, you need to work hard to become stronger. The stronger the elf, the stronger Bai Hao will become. Therefore, he doesn't need to waste time exercising at all. Just follow behind your own frog cubs and pick up the ready-made ones. No. I also provided emotional value to the frog cubs. This is a very important part. Bai Hao quickly changed into his swim trunks and sat by the pool cheering on the croaking frog. Frog cubs. Well done. Frog cub. Another one. Frog cubs. Come on. 6 hours later. Bai Hao left the training center full of energy. The talent of Guagua Bubble Frog exceeded Bai Hao's expectations. With the help of the energy cube, it persisted for 2 hours during its first training. Bai Hao helped it massage and relax, and after resting for half an hour, the second wave of training has started again. It wasn't until half an hour ago that Guagua Bubble Frog finished all of today's special training. Although a bit tired, the gains of this half-day are very significant. Far exceeding the upgrade speed of a normal trainer. During this half-day period, the frog cub only absorbed 2 energy blocks and has already advanced 3 levels in a row. The proficiency of Water Gun and Water Chaos Wave has also been greatly improved. The current frog cubs can deal 280 damage when in a full state of Water Chaos Wave. Twice as much as before. Bai Hao walked out of the training center and lazily stretched his waist. Seeing the gradually reddened sky, Bai Hao held his cheek with one hand and murmured softly, exercise can accelerate the absorption speed of energy blocks, thereby achieving faster upgrade speed. Exercise, this path is feasible. There is still no experiment in the Pokémon battle. Let's try PK at the venue after dinner. At this time, high school seniors should have all obtained the initial Pokémon. Just happened to take them. Bai Hao's mind moved and he sensed someone secretly approaching from behind. Just as I was about to use ninjutsu to counterattack, I suddenly smelled the familiar fragrance again, so he quickly withdrew his hands. Guess who I am? A familiar softness unexpectedly bumped into Bai Hao's back, and a pair of slender and tender hands gently covered Bai Hao's eyes. Bai Hao is 185 centimeters tall, and the height difference between him and this woman is very obvious. Under the drag of the woman, Bai Hao could only bend his knees and squat, leaning back to cooperate with the other party's playfulness. The warm breath in his ear made Bai Hao shrink his neck uncontrollably. Without hesitation, Bai Hao reached out and leaned back, placing a ring around the woman's waist. The sound is too obvious, Xiaolan. Ah! The weakness in her waist was attacked, and the woman couldn't help but scream in surprise. Quickly breaking free from Bai Hao's big hand, he took 2 steps back and widened the distance. The blonde woman looked angrily at Bai Hao with a smile on her face and said coquettishly, Xiaohao. You're getting more and more annoyed. Bai Hao exclaimed in surprise, pretending to be surprised, what? Surprisingly, it's Sister Shizi. I didn't even notice earlier. Youxizi pouted her red lips and angrily lightly punched Bai Hao. Your acting skills are too poor. Besides, you didn't dare to take action against Xiaolan last time. Xiaolan on the side smiled awkwardly and said softly, Good afternoon, Bai Jun. Youxizi reluctantly wrapped himself around Bai Hao again, hugging his arms with both hands and chasing after him. That idiot from Shinichi can't distinguish us every time. Xiaohao, why do you always guess so accurately every time? Kudo Shinichi looked at Bai Hao, who was suddenly surrounded by 2 women, and couldn't help but grit his teeth. What a despicable guy. Every time you want to make me stand out. As they watched their increasingly intimate behavior, Kudo Shinichi became increasingly angry as he thought, unable to resist taking a step forward and shouting loudly, "Bai Hao! Do you dare to have an elf duel with me? Looking for a flower collection evaluation ticket. Thank you for your large monthly pass.